What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access Entertainment. As always, please hit that subscribe button. It's right down there and it's free. That enables us to keep coming to y'all as often as possible with as many interviews as possible. So please hit that subscribe button, like our content, share it, talk about it, be about it, each one, teach one. And we appreciate your support and getting us this far. While you're down there, if you haven't already, please join. We got 3 different tiers of ways you could join and support Unique Access Entertainment. Helps us in a lot of ways with a lot of initiatives and things we're trying to get off the ground here behind the scenes. So please join Unique Access Entertainment and make sure you're subscribed and watch a video or two while you're here, so we make sure we get in your algorithm and that we stay there. Now, today on the 1st and 15th, man, as I often do during football season, I was watching football and I happened across this Progressive insurance commercial that featured Kid and Play. Now, Kid and Play, of course, one of the iconic groups in rap history, and this commercial from Progressive starts off with Von Miller. Of course, he's an icon for the Denver Broncos, now Buffalo Bills, one of the great defensive players. But he's sitting on a couch, and then it's Kid and Play, and they're at a house party. Or is it a house party? Is a party. So there's all this different stuff because Von Miller's lamenting he can't watch the game, and then this tiger mascot kicks a hole in the wall while doing the famous Kid and Play kick step. And this is where we get into this commercial here for Progressive Insurance, because all this stuff is going on, and Progressive has they drop the flag like they do when the NFL coaches want to review a play. It's a challenge, and it's the what really happened replay. So Kid and Play, as they did throughout the house party films, get into an argument. Kid drops the flag, go into the booth, and it is revealed that, of course, Kid was correct, that he wanted to have a house party, not a party. Play apologizes, and then we hear a boom. And then it turns out that outside the house where the party is taking place, this guy had backed into some shrubbery that is shaped much like Kid with his high top fade back in the day. And more or less, Play then, in his comedic sense, says, hey man, I hope he's got Progressive. So that made me think of so many things about Kid and Play, one of which is the fact that basically since they got in the game in the late 1980s, that they really broke through in a big way. And this commercial made me think back to Kid and Play's Sprite commercial from 1991, where they more or less did this jingle for Sprite. They were dressed, similarly to the cans of Sprite, where they had the green, the bright, vibrant green and the yellow. Kid and Play's outfits were green and yellow in the commercial. They're dancing, they're doing what they do. And it's, it's a fun, wholesome commercial, and it's for Sprite, which Sprite in the early 90s did support rap and was an early major brand that put its heft, its weight, and its support financially and creatively behind rap very early in the game. So all that to be commended. But the Sprite commercial made me think of, Do This My Way, which was Kid and Play's first video, because aesthetically they both have that white blank studio backdrop. The videos are much more about what's going on with Kid and Play themselves and the people around them than the aesthetics of what's going on the screen, other than the people themselves, primarily Kid and Play, of course. So made me think back to all these things, and then take it back to 88, time to set it straight, the best year in rap history, because that's when Too Hype came out by Kid and Play, which set the stage for all this. Now, Too Hype is their debut album, of course, on Select Records. Getting Funky, my favorite song on the album, also my favorite video, maybe not coincidentally from the album. But the thing is that Kid and Play come from the Herbie Lovebug production tree chain family and the Invincibles, but you have Salt-N-Pepa, you got Dana Dane, you got Kid and Play, you got Kwame, you got Sweet Tea, among all these others. But this wave of rap was, what started getting very different from rap a little bit later, which was Kid and Play in particular. They were wholesome, they were fun, they would dance, they would smile. Their lyrics were PG, maybe PG-13 even later on as time progressed. But this was stuff that you could listen to around your parents, I like the fact, Rolling with Kid and Play, of course, had go-go influence, go-go samples, as did a lot of Herbie Lovebug's music, and that type of festive aesthetic, orally and then creatively, was in their video for Rolling with Kid and Play. So, of course, in Maryland, where I grew up, and neighboring D.C., Kid and Play were huge and got a lot of attention and acclaim. And then, of course, they were on the first show that I'd have ever gone to, the Fear of a Black Planet tour in 1990. They toured with Public Enemy as one of the supporting or opening acts. That also, at least in the Maryland stop, included Digital Underground, Chill Rob G, Heavy D and the Boys, Kid and Play. It was a amazing show. And that was one of the early rap highlights, one of the best early rap highlights of my life, being able to see all this. And I'll just always remember loving Kid and Play, Rolling with Kid and Play, Getting Funky, Do This My Way. It was a lot of great stuff. Then in 1990, they came out with Kid and Play's Funhouse LP, which of course featured the single, but then also had in March 1990 the actual House Party film, which catapulted Kid and Play into a whole other stratosphere. And they basically used their personas in this film, which had a lot of positive messages, but it was also a lot edgier than people realized. Robert Harris was in there, of course, and some of those themes were pretty adult, but it was a lighthearted film. Martin Lawrence really shines and breaks through. So it's a lot of big things. Tisha Campbell, AJ Johnson, so many big things going on in there. And Martin Lawrence, the DJ, brings the hip hop element on that side. And then Kid and Play are rapping, they're dancing. It's definitely very hip hop centered, of course. And again, it's not what we see in 1991, where we get New Jack City and Boys in the Hood. House Party is a much different type of thing. It's much more in line with Friday than Boys in the Hood or New Jack City. But don't get it twisted too. House Party was really big. It made $26 million, more than $26 million at the box office back in 1990. And that may not sound like a lot now, but we have inflation, we got all these other things. But to put it in perspective, just 3 years later, Menace to Society did more than 27 million. So as we have inflation, we have the increase in ticket prices and all this other stuff. You got to think, man, as revered and as popular and as great as Menace to Society is, it made around the same, slightly more, depending on what economical evaluators you want to use, as House Party. That's how huge House Party was. It was a great film, magnificent, that led to so many opportunities and so many big things for Kid and Play right out the gate. From there, got a sequel. Always think sequel. Shout out to Batty 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 from Hollywood Shuffle, my favorite film. But when a film does well, the best thing about it is it leads everyone to get to do the sequel, and House Party was no exception. You got House Party 2, which came out in 1991. Kid and Play were able to parlay that into a different film vehicle, which was Class Act. Shout out to Karen Parsons, who's in there. That came out in 1992. And then they finished the trilogy of House Parties with House Party 3 in 1994. But, this all stems from Kid and Play being these wholesome dudes. And really, as gangster rap was evolving and expanding and exploding, and as rap in general was getting more profane, more rough, more street, all this other stuff, Kid and Play from 88 to 94 with House Party 3 were really able to thrive, sustain, and have this great, amazing career that continued. And we get the early Pete Rock production with them on their third album. And we see Kid and Play really individually and collectively shine basically after House Party 3. Kid was on episodes of Sister Sister in 96 and 97. Then, of course, he did a lot of stuff with Real Time with Bill Maher on HBO. He was active on the show from 2009 to 2021, which is a huge run in anything, let alone a TV show. Then he had Play. He had the 4Play clothing store with Dana Dane. He was also in 6 episodes of Church Folks in 2020 TV show, and then Bigger in 2021, showing that Play has had different things going on in his life, but he's also been able to be successful, to thrive, and do different things on screen as well, just as Kid had. And of course, DJ Wiz, their DJ, I'd interviewed him on Unique Access Entertainment, which was an honor and a privilege. Definitely check the links to that below in the description if you happen to miss those. But the main thing is Kid and Play are thriving. And then they did the reboot in 2023, and Kid and Play were in that as themselves. But all of this stems from thinking about this, all stems from the Progressive commercial, which is now out in football season and promoting the biggest television event of the year every year, which is the NFL. And all of that made me think about it here for the 1st and 15th, because one thing that we always, that I often hear, and I see a lot of people talk about, and I see a lot of people say all the time, is that rap has become so one-dimensional, and rap is this and rap is that, much in a negative sense. But we have to understand and realize other types of rap are still popular. Kid and Play have a lane and exist in our hearts, our minds, and in entertainment today, as evidenced by the Progressive commercial, that they have a big following, that they still matter, and that their rap has not faded away because they're still getting opportunities. They're still performing, they're still touring, they're still doing TV shows, they're still getting commercials. And all this from a rap that was decidedly PG, that was decidedly not violent or misogynistic, or their songs were not littered with profanity. So this is a totally different thing than what we see most of the time in rap, which is the commentary both within the music itself and then the people looking at the music from the outside. It's usually somehow framed with negativity. And Kid and Play, I think, are a shining example that we have in rap, and that we've had in rap since the 1980s, of guys that didn't do that and were able to achieve. They had 2 gold records. They were on a tiny label, Select Records, that helped Select get super big. They sold more than 1 million albums. They had a cartoon. They had commercials with Sprite, one of the biggest companies through Coca-Cola in the world, let alone the United States. And then they were big box office draws for several years. So they were able to show that, yes, you could be a PG rap group, you could be positive, you could be happy, you could dance, you could do all these things, yet at the same time be super successful, and now stretch from the 80s up until 2023 during the NFL season and get a big showcase and really reprise what they're known for, which is having fun, battling, and dancing, and with a little bit of humor sprinkled in there as well. So all that to be said, to me, all of this is very important, and it really shows everything that rap is and can be. It's not always gangster, it's not always violent, it's not always doing drugs, it's not always about, X-rated sex. Kid and Play PG. Kid and Play PG-13 when they're a little more racy, but man, they put it down. They're definitely valuable, important, significant, and I've had the fortune of interviewing Kid. We got him on Unique Access Entertainment. The link down there is below. I hope to get Kid and Play individually and collectively for much longer interviews, but I saw Kid at the Salt and Pepper when they were getting their star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He was gracious enough to give me an interview. Shout out to Kid, as always, showing me support. Saw him at the Force Tour as well. But bottom line is, man, Kid and Play are great, phenomenal artists. We're lucky that we have them, and I'm glad that in 2023 we still get to enjoy them in so many different ways, and I'm hoping that continues for years to come. That's why I want to talk about it here on the 1st 15th. Please hit me in the comment section. Either myself or someone in Unique Access Entertainment will get back to you. Please subscribe. It's free. We passed the 50,000 subscriber mark, and we're trying to get to that 75K and then 100K as soon as possible. So the more you support us, the faster we'll get there. Tell a friend about Unique Access. Join as a member if you can, and catch us every 1st and 15th here with Soren Baker on the 1st and 15th. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you next time.